everybody. Today I'd like to talk to you guys about something that is really important and that's going to help your flying in all disciplines, and is also something that you can kind of actually work on when you're at home or wherever, at work, at the gym or whatever. And it's relaxing. And so that's probably a word that you hear, people talking about, especially when you, maybe if someone's coaching you at the drop zone or coaching you at the tunnel, or you're learning a new discipline. A lot of times we're trying to get people to relax and not be so stiff and rigid. So sometimes it's a little bit confusing about what does that mean, relax? How do you do that? So my goal today, my hope is that I can share with you, it's not so much a quote tip as it is a way for you to think about this idea of relaxing your body and what that means, and then a couple of practical things that you can do to actually practice it and kind of start feeling it out on the ground before you get in the sky or in the tunnel, before you get in the air, so that you have a better understanding of what it means to relax in the right way. So imagine for a second that we have this spectrum of relaxation. On one end is stiff and rigid and unmoving like a stone statue. Okay, so we can see that stone statue. Obviously that is not relaxing. It's not flexible. It's not able to move. It is rigid and stiff. On the far end of the other spectrum is so relaxed that like a limp wet noodle. It has no structure to it. It has no resistance, no control at all. It's just completely limp and so relaxed. So those are the two extremes. And most of the time, if not all of the time, we really don't want either one of those extremes. If you're so rigid and stiff that your body can't flex and move and give with the wind, it's going to be pretty difficult to control yourself and flow and move and have those graceful lines and go where you want to go and do what you want to do. And certain body orientations, whether it's head up, head down, or whatever, there's going to be certain body orientations that are very difficult to fly if you're that stiff and rigid. And also, again, at the same time, on the other end, if you're so relaxed and loose that your body has no form and no control, you're like a drop of water in the wind that just completely goes wherever the wind pushes it. You have no control over where you go and what you do. So we're trying to find a way to get somewhere in the middle, and depending on what we're doing, what type of body flight we're engaging in, and maybe even specific movements within that body flight, that we will move up and down that spectrum, that scale of less relaxed, a little bit more rigid, to more relaxed and less rigid. But we're aiming for somewhere in the middle. And what I found a good way to think about this, imagine that you are riding a bicycle. Okay, and let's say you're riding on a street and the street has just a little bit of a slope, a little bit of a downgrade. Not very much, but just enough that you can pedal for a few seconds, you can build up some speed, and then you can stop pedaling and you can just kind of coast down that street. So imagine yourself, you're on a bicycle, it's a comfortable bicycle that fits you well. You pedal for a few seconds, you get some speed, and now you're coasting down the street. Imagine yourself relaxing on that bike. You're sitting on the bike and you're just coasting and you're relaxing. Now if you relax, if you go all the way to the end of completely relaxed, so relaxed like a limp noodle, you're going to fall off the bicycle, right? You're not going to be able to maintain control of your body and stay on the bike. So you don't do that. You're not that relaxed. At the same time, if you go to the other end, if you're so rigid and stiff, you'll stay on the bike, you can do that, but it's completely unnecessary. You're wasting so much energy and you're so stiff and rigid, and it actually might even be a little bit more difficult to control the bike as you hit a bump or you go over a hump or maybe the wind blows. If you're so rigid, it's gonna look pretty stiff and rigid from the outside, and you're gonna feel like you maybe don't even have as much control as you would like. But if you move to that middle ground, somewhere on that middle area of relaxing but controlling your body, that's something that I think we can all visualize. That's something you can easily do. You can ride on that bicycle, you can be relaxed, but you still have control of your body. For other people, it might be, maybe you grew up on a farm or around animals and horses. You can imagine yourself riding a horse and you're able to relax. You're able to move and give with the horse as it's running or trotting, as it turns. Your body moves and flows. So you are relaxed, but you're still maintaining control of your body. And that's what we're trying to do. That middle ground of that spectrum of rigid and stiff versus completely limp and falling over, we want somewhere in the middle. So that's what we want to do, especially in body orientations that are a little less aerodynamic, like head-up flying. That's possibly the least aerodynamic, the least naturally aerodynamic body position that we fly in. And head down, you know, when we can learn how to do that, how to relax our body, but still be in control, it's going to make learning these disciplines much easier and quicker. And it's also going to allow you to have more control over where you're flying and controlling your body flight. Now, a couple of things that you can do, these are just practical things you can do on the ground by yourself or maybe even with a friend. The first one is maybe you're learning how to fly head up and you want to figure out, okay, how do I do that? How do I relax but still maintain that body position? So a great way you can do that is with wall sits. Find a smooth wall and just go into a wall sit where you put your back against the wall, you're sitting down or you're leaning against the wall, and then think about engaging the muscles in your legs. Kind of imagine that you're almost like you're squeezing your legs together, but you're not letting them come together. You're engaging your hamstrings and your hip flexors, and you're kind of keeping your legs tight and controlled because you're doing that to hold your body up, right? You're maintaining your weight on the against the wall, but you're also able to kind of imagine that relaxed feeling, using your arms, having your hands up above you, out like this, like you're actually sit flying, you're flying head up. And then think about you may even close your eyes and think about moving with the wind, letting the wind push you around, but maintaining control. So that's one thing that you can do to kind of practice that feeling, get into that feeling in your mind, that you have an idea, a sense of what that feels like on the ground against the wall. Maybe you even have a friend come over and kind of just gently push on you, move you around, kind of pushing on your arms, pushing them down and are pushing them up and you're having to hold them down, or kind of pushing against your knees and you're giving and pushing against it, but still relaxing. Another thing you can do is standing up. Maybe you imagine that you're flying head down, but you're standing on the ground, or maybe you imagine that you're head down carving in the tunnel. And so you can engage your hips and your glutes. You can kind of squeeze your legs and keep nice and strong and straight. Maybe you can have your arms up like you're flying head down. And then again, you imagine the wind around you and you kind of think about what is it like to move and flex and flow with the wind, but still maintaining control of your body. And again, you can have a friend come and just gently push on you, move on you. So you think about, what does that feel like to move and carve through the wind, or to fly head down and have that feeling, that sense of controlled relaxation, where your body is engaged, you're not just flopping around like a loose, limp noodle, but you're also not so stiff and rigid that you're just burning lots of energy and you don't move at all. And your friend can help you can kind of feel that. If you're really stiff and rigid and your friend's pushing on you, they're going to sense that as well, and you're going to sense it. So those are a couple things that I think can really help you kind of get in that mindset, that perspective, or that feeling of what does it mean to relax in the right way when we're flying in the tunnel. I mean, when we're flying in the tunnel or in the sky, either one. And I really think it's going to help you a lot when you're learning new disciplines. So try that out. Please leave some comments down below, or maybe some other ideas. Maybe you have some other ideas or a different way that you think about relaxing in the wind, and share that with us. This is a great way for us to all learn together. It's not like I have all the answers, or this is the way you have to do it. Probably you guys have something that you're doing, or something that you share with people when you're coaching them or teaching a friend or something. I'd love to hear about that stuff. Leave it in the comment. If you try it out and it works and it's helpful, leave those comments too, so we can see those and we can all learn together. Because I think that's what this is all about, that we can teach one another, learn from one another, and everybody can get better, so we all get to shred together. If you want to learn more things like this, of course you can check out the videos here on our YouTube channel, but also go to the Krāv website, KrāvToFly.com. We're putting up courses. We're going to be releasing a wingsuit course here shortly. We're going to be releasing a camera course, a vertical flying course. We've already got some other courses up online already. So go check those out. I think you'll really enjoy them. You'll benefit from them. The instructors are fantastic, phenomenal flyers, fantastic, phenomenal skydivers, lots of great information. It's going to make you a better flyer and a safer skydiver. So I hope that's been a blessing to you. I hope that's helpful and beneficial. And hopefully we'll see you out there in the sky. Krāv, do more, be better.